Check, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. Here's a book. I'm not gonna hold you too long. The 72 Sigils of Power. Alright, so this book has 72 sigils. These sigils are the 72 God names or 72 angels. Alright, the magic is easy to use. I notice a lot of people kind of want magical results without performing the magic. And it's not going to happen. All right. But anyway, so each God name right here, written in Hebrew, or every angel, you'll see the angelic name and a brief description of the powers that sigil will be useful for. There's two different approaches that you can tap into that divine energy. As you see, contemplation magic being one, or results magic being the other. Basically, contemplation magic is when you're aiming at like insight or understanding, wisdom. Like it's about an inner change. And results magic is more so about just changing something in your outer world. I'm going to read a little bit, just a little bit. It says, so contemplation magic, how you do it. You choose a sigil of God that suits your current need. You scan your eyes over the sigil as instructed. You say or think an extended divine word of power associated with the name. So when she said an extended word of power, so say this angel, for instance, you see on contemplation magic, that's the name that you would chant or think. Allah me. Right? And if you was using the results magic, then that's the name that you would be chanting or thinking. LM, LM. Anyway, so that's the distinction when she says an extended divine word. So while doing this, you focus on a feeling you want to explore, an idea you need to know more about, or an aspect of yourself that you want to change. Magic happens. You gain insights into yourself. Your inner self changes. Results magic. You choose a sigil of God that suits your current need. You scan your eyes over the sigil as instructed. You say or think a short divine word of power associated with the name. While doing this, you focus on the feeling associated with obtaining your desire. All right, so it's about the same, but just slightly different. What it says. Magic happens. You let go of your result and allow it to manifest. All right. Over 300 powers. There are over 300 different powers available in this book because each name offers several powers and can be used for contemplation magic and results magic. It's one of the most efficient uses of magical words that I've ever come across, and I'm sharing it with you. You may want to try sitting down and meditating on each word, one after the other, until you've harnessed the powers of all 72 sigils. And that will be perfectly all right. But if you're reading this book, it's probably because there are certain abilities you want to develop and changes you want to make right now. So, what if you have actual problems and challenges that you want to deal with? You may want a better understanding of yourself. You may want to limit or develop an aspect of your personality. Or you may want to change, or you may want to create change in your world. You can do all this when you intuit the right name for your magical purpose and which expression of magic to use. Contemplation or results, or a bit of both. Sometimes a couple of minutes of meditation with contemplation magic is all you need. At other times, you may end up using a whole series of names and powers to get to the place you want to be. It depends entirely on your personal situation. With a little of my guidance, and I mean a very little, your intuition, and the inbuilt feedback from these names, you will be a whiz at picking the right names and words to manifest your needs and desires. I ain't gonna read it all. For me, I haven't done much of this magic. But I did try it out. Some weeks ago, I meditated on the angel Vehu, or Vaheva. I used to contemplate the contemplation magic. I meditated on the name because I was wanting some insight. I was wanting to better understand manifestation and how manifestation works. And as you see, this angel, one of its descriptions is manifestation and strength. So I meditated on the name for about 4 or 5 different sessions, different times. I remember the first day I got some dreams, like some shit came through in some dreams that I still didn't quite understand, but it was definitely vivid, and it was definitely a result from doing the meditation. Like, that was clear, but I still didn't have an understanding of the message that was in the dream, though. So I meditated on a little bit more, and subtly what happened is then I was just drawn to get into this Kabbalah journey. As soon as I get into that, deals with it's literally deals with creation, manifestation, and like, if you want to start to know like how the shit works, right? And how your life, it just was kind of like, oh shit, okay. Because it's not just about gaining insight on these things, right? Because you still aiming for an internal change, though, if you aiming to change the inner work. So not only is it about getting insight, but these names and shit, like, this is about changing you. It's about making a change, though. Like, I don't know. And it seems to be like, to me, working with angels is always seems like it's an experience. They always kind of like gonna push you to experience something. But anyway, I was just sharing that. I ain't had too much more of that to share with you, but good book. The magic is easy. I'm definitely going to eventually do all kinds. I'm eventually run through a lot of the names and shit. Um, I just don't want to overwhelm myself now. I got a lot on my plate, and anyway, and it's kind of crazy because, as I said, like now I'm into this, and you see how thick like this book is and shit, and basically this is still the same. Like this comes from Kabbalah magic, but this is just designed to be more practical to get to work and to use the shit. And this has a lot of practices in it, but it also has a lot more information as far as describing what it is you're doing and getting into and the X's and O's and shit. But anyway, that's all I got for now. I'm out.